up, guys? Ivan Temelkov, episode 44 of the Biz Grind YouTube show, and I am glad to be back because I think I've skipped 2 episodes already, and it really baffles me because consistency is something that I'm really struggling with. And as much as I'm trying to dedicate time to actually vlog and put new episodes together, it seems like it's one thing after the other. To be quite honest, it's kind of hard between family and running a business, trying to shoot these daily vlogs. And this is precisely why the Biz Grind YouTube show has now changed to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, as much as I would love to do daily vlogs, and that is my ultimate goal, is I just don't think that it is feasible at this point in time for me to be making promises that I can't fulfill, especially since I am so transparent about making promises and I strive really hard to make those promises stick. So with that being said, effective immediately, the Biz Grind YouTube show will be available on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week. And I'm really hoping that I can really stick to that, honestly, because consistency, which is something that I'll talk about in a little bit, is something that I am very adamant about. With that being said, why did I skip a couple episodes? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was actually 3 episodes, to be honest. Well, last weekend, my family, my wife and my 15-month-old son decided to venture out for the 4th of July weekend, which was on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. So we just took some time off, spent with some family, enjoyed some fireworks, just a great opportunity to recharge the batteries. And this is something that, I try to do, because even though I like to hustle and work hard all the time, every day, nonstop, you just run out of fumes. I mean, you start running on fumes at some point. So it was a great opportunity for us to enjoy the 4th of July weekend and spend some time with family, watch some fireworks, and for me to also strategize a little bit, because when I have some downtime like that, I try to utilize that opportunity to really think about new business ideas, strategies, things that I could be doing, things that I'm doing that maybe I'm not doing very well. So really kind of reevaluating and assessing my approach. Consistency to build trust with people, it not only takes building relationships, forging strong relationships, but also exercising the act of being consistent. Now, this is something that I talked about in episode 9 of the Biz Grind this past Labor Day weekend. And this is a really big one, and here's what I mean. Now, a lot of brands, a lot of companies, anything really you do in business has to have some sense of consistency. Me doing these videos right now for you guys, taking the time to shoot these, attributes to a sense of consistency. And by being inconsistent and missing certain days, for instance, that shows that there's a lack of dedication and commitment and seriousness towards this particular endeavor. So hopefully you guys got a chance to watch that. If not, I'm sharing a little clip of it and also a link in the description of this video. But consistency is a big part of business. It's a big part actually in life. When you're trying to build relationships, it's a really big part of being consistent, because consistency can help build that trust. So let's talk a little bit about consistency. And this was really the main point that I wanted to make behind this video, is what consistency means, to emphasize the importance of that, and why you need to strive for consistency. As a matter of fact, that's probably one of my mantras right now, is just trying to figure out how to be more consistent, how to be more realistically consistent, because there are literally 1,000 moving parts in my life on a day-to-day basis. And I'm sure in yours just as much. So how can you be consistent? How can you be realistically consistent? Because inconsistency, as I mentioned in episode 9 of the Biz Grind YouTube show, is something that is probably deteriorating your potential. You need to figure out how to be more consistent. So there's a couple of things that I would strongly suggest you considering. Set realistic goals that you can fulfill. So that's the first thing that you could do to help you be more consistent. And the second thing is strive hard for being consistent and gathering in and adhering to those promises you make. So again, just so I can repeat that, is strive hard for being consistent and adhering to those promises that you make. So the realistic goals will help you. Setting those realistic goals will help you be more consistent, okay? Because if you're realistic to those expectations, and the reality of things is we all have high expectations. Now, me of all people, I gotta admit it, that I actually have fairly high expectations. And sometimes I think it takes people to really kind of bring me back down to earth and remind me that some of my expectations might be too high for other people. So setting realistic goals and realistic expectations from the get-go, ones that you can fulfill, can help you be more consistent. So for instance, I knew that it was becoming impossible for me to shoot daily vlogs. So what I had to do quickly is adapt to where now I've shifted and changed. So being able to adapt, being able to be flexible attributes to consistency. So if I've adapted and I've changed the frequency of the YouTube show, the Biz Grind YouTube show, by now having it 3 times a week as opposed to daily. And even though as much as I would like to have daily vlogs, I just don't think that it's feasible at this point in time. So the way I'm striving towards being more consistent is by changing my approach, by changing the frequency of the show so I can be more consistent in that regard, or hopefully anyway. And the second thing is striving hard for being consistent by adhering to those promises that you make. So the promises that you make to your audience, especially with this show that you guys are watching right now, is the promises that I've made to you guys is it's important to me to fulfill those promises. So if I promise that I'm going to deliver an episode on a specific day, then it's important to me to adhere to that promise. Because if I'm consistent in that regard, then I can help build those relationships between you and me. Now, if I'm inconsistent and incapable of delivering those shows, like I mentioned on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of this YouTube show, then that makes me inconsistent. So again, I know that was quite a bit of mumbo jumbo that I just threw at you, but in the grand scheme of things, guys, it's just fulfill your promises. If you're going to say you're going to do something to your audience, then be consistent in that regard. And if you're going to be inconsistent, then inform them, let them know, communicate. Communication is also a big part of being consistent. So there it is. That was it, guys. Consistency. I hope you try to be more consistent. I love to hear your thoughts and comments in the section below. I also take constructive criticism. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got some value out of it. Until next time, keep it human. Peace.
To a brighter day.